Okay, let's finally do some planning ourselves. We're going to return to the same statement. When choosing a job, the salary is the most important consideration. And the question is, to what extent do you agree or disagree? As I said, ideally, it should take no more than 5 minutes to plan your essay, but of course, it is a skill that requires um, training, as all skills. So I'm going to time myself and see how much it's going to take me. Uh, the first thing I'm going to do is write my opinion. I agree with this. Now I'm writing my opinion down because while I'm brainstorming, I might get lost in the ideas, and I always need this kind of anchor to remind myself what exactly it is I'm trying to support. Uh, in the paragraph, the body paragraph 1, I'm going to express an idea like this. First of all, people need to support themselves, right? People need to make a living, get food, get the accommodation, um, you know, make a living for themselves. And this is what I'm going to write down very briefly. So the salary is the most important consideration because people need to make a living. All right, pretty straightforward. And let me show you a couple of ideas that help me um, develop it. Now, people need to make a living. How? Well, first of all, we could argue that good jobs with high salary are usually situated in huge cities, isn't it right? And huge cities, living in a huge city involves big expenses, rent, transportation, prices, all of it is quite high, isn't it? And even if you live outside of the city, then commuting is going to take up a lot of your income. So I'm going to write it down like this. Notice that it's not the main answer anymore. This is the development of my answer. People need to make a living. Um, Good jobs are in cities. And that means I try to use this kind of arrow to show the connection. Good jobs in cities, which means lots of expenses, right? For example, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's write it down. For example, rent, food, um, what else? Okay, rent and food. Now, if live outside the city, expensive commuting. All right. Am I writing full sentences? Not at all. I'm just putting whatever I think out there. This is called brainstorming. Now, body paragraph 2. I'm going to say that the second reason why the salary is the most important consideration when choosing a job is that people tend to have families, and of course, you have to support the family, even if you have a working partner whom you have children with, for example. So I'm writing it down like this. People need to support their family. And now to show that there is a clear difference between body 1 and body paragraph 2, I'll write People need to make a living for themselves. So I clearly show that body 1 is about supporting themselves and body 2 is about supporting the family. Okay, let's see how we could develop it. Well, we obviously can argue that children are costly, right? It's expensive to care for them. Mothers tend to lose their income when they have children, and they need to rely on the partners to support them. So let's put it down as um, neatly as possible. Let's say children are costly, and that's pretty much it. Considering that the spouse can support themselves, let's stop at children. Now, of course, we could argue that some countries, some states provide support for young children. For example, in my country, um, there is a monetary support for parents, and there is free daycare. And despite what you might think, including a counterpoint into your development might actually be of use, especially if you're aiming at a 7. If you provide an opposite point of view, something that your opponent might say, but in a way that it actually reinforces your own point of view, it will make your score higher when it comes to task achievement. So this is what I'm going to write then. So children are costly, even though some countries help parents. Well, let's say support parents. By adding this even though, I'm showing that even though some governments help parents, I still believe that people need to think about compensation, the salary, first thing. I still think that people need to support their family, and for this reason, they should consider the salary first. To think of it, we can do something similar with the first argument. Why not? Because in some countries, including my own, higher education is free, right? So we could say that even though, let me just put bullet points so it's clearer how many arguments we have. So the third argument for body 1 is that people need to pay for their training. People need to pay for their education if they want to get a good job. Isn't it right? So let's say training is expensive, even though some states provide education for free. So it looks like we've got 4 main arguments. And it's not just important to put your arguments in a list, but show which of them are going to be your future topic sentences, the main ideas of each paragraph, and which of them are going to be your supporting arguments, your development. I'm doing it like this. So body paragraph 1, topic sentence, people need to make a living for themselves, and 3 arguments, 3 supporting arguments about jobs in cities, Expensive commuting, lots of expenses, and training is expensive because people, of course, want to get a return on their investment in education. That's why salary is most important. Body paragraph 2, people need to support their families. And I'm going to support it like this. Of course, some countries provide free education. Of course, some countries will help you to get a job. Uh, oh, I'm sorry. This is about children. Of course, some countries will provide free daycare. Some of them will provide you with monetary support. But still, children are expensive. It is expensive to raise children. That's why people who want to support their families should think first and foremost about salary. Okay, it's taken me 10 minutes. 10 minutes is far too long to do a plan, but I've been explaining it to you. So I think it would take me about 5 minutes to do a plan like this. So this is basically what I'd like to see in the first assignment. When you open your Google Doc, which is attached to the assignment, you will see that there are 5 topics. And for each of the topics, I'd like to see what you plan to write about. Do the cover and recite exercise. Make sure you remember what exactly you are asked to do. And then write, edit the Google Doc, write the plan, and don't forget to time yourself. I've provided a little prompt for you. How much time has each of the plans taken you? Of course, it would be fantastic if you would also fill in the form called reflection and feedback. Feedback is most important for me because this is going to help me to see whether this format is what you're looking for, whether the way I explain things is understandable, if it's clear, and whether you like this type of assignment or not. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comments and tell me if this is what you were expecting. I will hopefully see you soon in the next recording. Goodbye. Oh, come on. All right. Now, goodbye.